The Moza KS and Simagic GT Neo, these two bad nasty freaks I have sitting on my lap, I've been going back and forth with. These wheels are direct competitors from two of the most popular sim racing companies in the game who will have their entire ecosystems, wheelbases, pedals, shifters, e-brakes, etc. compared in the very near future. Racer Bits. Both of these companies, Moza and Simagic, do sell an authorized adapter. Simagic adapter is $20 and only works with the GT Neo wheel, does not work with their current or old wheels. Moza's hub is $40, works with all their wheelbases, and allows you to plug in their other accessories such as shifters, dashboards, and handbrakes into the USB hub and plug that into a third-party wheelbase. It's also sold on Amazon, which no Simagic products are. Both these wheels, in essence, on paper, are the same price at $290, but not really. This is $290 on Amazon. This is $290 on the Simagic website. One of the things that'll be mentioned in the upcoming full comprehensive review of the Simagic ecosystem, as I did purchase over $2,000 of their equipment, is the fact that there's technically four, but we'll just say three separate sites you can buy Simagic gear. And to be quite clear, I'm not talking about third-party vendors that stock their products, because that'd be fantastic. Talking about, oh, you can walk into a Best Buy or a Walmart and get their products. No. Layers of confusion, because when you click on the shop on their primary website, it takes you to a store that's not the same URL as another authorized website, and they're also rolling out a new US distributor, despite the fact there's one out of Texas that doesn't have all of their inventory or products. They never had the mini wheelbase in stock. A lot of these smaller accessories like RGB light bars are not available. It hasn't really soured my experience with Simagic gear in the long run. Up front, it absolutely did. When I kind of realized, what the hell's going on here? The frequencies of my voice there, it'll all be explained in the in the review. But once you have the gear and you've realized that's how getting Simagic gear works, once you're there, you're good. You're in the ecosystem and you're happy. That seemed kind of ranty, but it's all very warranted. If you do need to return a product to Simagic, pony up the dough for the return shipping costs. As where I mentioned, Moza's products, including the KS Wheel here, are sold on Amazon. And as we know, that third-party vendor has a really nice, damn near no questions asked return policy. You get a little prepaid label, slap it on the front of the box, get it out of there if you didn't like it. Simagic, not so much. Now, if you can't swim, you should just leave now, because this is going to be a deep dive of all of the parts and components on these two wheels. Things like dials, rotary encoders, buttons, the sticker sets. Yes, both of these use stickers for the buttons. This doesn't have any stickers on. This one currently does. The warranty, build quality, the quick release, which is identical. It's an NRG style, like what you'd see on a real race car. Run that quick little intro that gets people hard, and then review these suckers. Starting with the cosmetics or appearance, this is completely subjective, but I subject that both these wheels look good, but the Simagic looks a little bit better. They're both going for this carbon fiber look, but it's a composite plasticky, it's not real carbon. There might be a little bit of carbon drizzle in the plastic or something. It's a different design. I personally think the raw carbon looks cooler. Let me just correct myself right now. You've got your weaved carbon fiber, which looks like this, and then you've got forged is the one that looks like chopped up pieces of confetti or something, which I actually think looks sicker than the grid pattern. But overall, staring at these wheels back and forth, laying with them more than a couple nights, I'm gonna have to say I'd rather wake up to the Simagic. As for lights, both of these wheels do support RGB. We're gonna start with the startup animation, which I think looks cooler on the Moza. Simagic's a little bit too rambunctious, more linear brightness control with the slider in the Moza Pit House app. Some of the Simagic wheels do not allow you to separate the brightness of your shift light, your RPM, your tachometer here. They have to be synced up with the buttons. The GT Neo, you can separate them. LED dibbly dot shift light, I think it's a turd bucket in comparison to the Moza, which was a lot more visible out of my bottom peripheral, I guess that's called. I could see it much easier without taking my eyes off the screen. As you can see, the layout is virtually identical. So we're gonna start with these dials, which I always have bound to ABS on the left and then traction control on the right, so I can make quick adjustments. In that regard, this is already pre-labeled BB for brake bias and mix for your fuel ratio mix. And these feel and sound plasticky, cheap, and a little bit stinky. These are metal and look and feel superior. Also quieter in function. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Simagic. As for the button feel, we are gonna get into the sticker sets in just a minute, but as far as button feel, they are virtually identical in actuation and also in layout, as you can see. 3 here, 3 here, 2 here, 2 here. It's very similar. But in practice, I will say I prefer the layout of the Simagic buttons, as I think everything was a little bit more accessible. Maybe not these 2 inner buttons, a little bit of a stretch. Very close, but I'm going to give the button layout and feel to the Simagic. As for the sticker sets, I'm gonna give it to the Simagic. Not only did the print, the text look better, the colors look more vibrant, but as you can see, these are already peeling off on the Moza. Also, after testing a few stickers on the Simagic, I will say light bleeds through a little bit better, more classy, I guess you could say. The stickers aren't classy by any means. These are both $290 wheels, so it's okay. Sticker set, Simagic. The next one is going to be these rubber grips, which I think is incredibly important because you're gonna be holding on to these haunches all the time. Now the rubber does extend further out on the Simagic, but when you're gripping the wheel, you're never holding it down here. It's always going to be on the side. The rubber or silicone compound on the KS wheel is a lot more soft, supple, and feels a lot better, especially mentioning the fact that there is a seam, a crease down the middle of both of these wheels, and that is a lot more apparent or feelable, I guess you should say. That little crease or hump is a lot more feelable on the Simagic, probably due to the softer, more supple rubber over here, so you don't really feel that crease. Also, the cutouts on the KS wheel are virtually perfect. This just feels so good in hand. I'm gonna give the grips to the KS. Quick release system is an absolute draw because these are both using the same NRG style quick release system. See if I can do it one-handed. It is black on the Moza. It is red on the Simagic. I do prefer it being black as that's more color neutral. Probably go with more people's themes or setups. These things work phenomenal. Ball bearings in there, snaps right on every time. Pogo pins make contact. These are great. The paddle shifters in both of these wheels is phenomenal. They are both mechanical. I meant magnetic. And they do feel tremendous. But I will say, feel and sound is better on the Simagic, as it is virtually silent. Compared to the KS, which has more of a hollow, clacky sound, but not bad by any means, and they feel phenomenal. But I am going to give the paddle shifters to the Simagic. I will say you might want to add a little rubber strip or something for grip, because this metal stippling back here is not the grippiest, and since these are physically a little smaller than the KS's paddles, you might slip off occasionally. Now, as for these analog paddles, which are commonly used for clutch and handbrake and rally, maybe left and right turn signal in a road car or something like that, you do have more travel in the Simagic, and also they are kicked out a couple of millimeters past the shifters so you don't accidentally hit the shifters. But these are also spring-loaded with the perfect resistance and are probably the most satisfying analog paddles I have ever used. So the KS, while not bad, does have substantially shorter travel and just doesn't feel as good. Moving on to these analog sticks, these Thumbsticks. I use these constantly to navigate through menus and also look around the cockpit. While I do prefer the physical feel of the KS, being that the gate is completely open and you can go all the way in a circle like a regular thumbstick on a controller, as where the Simagic does lead you into 4 gates like a D-pad. But in practice, the Simagic, despite not feeling quite as good when you're navigating, does make navigating easier because you get less false, whoops, I meant to go right, but I went down, because it is guiding you into 4 distinct gates. So while this takes a little getting used to and might not feel the best, I feel like navigating menus is quicker and easier on the Simagic. Also, a little note, these are convexed or domed, and these are concaved or dipped in. Now, both of these do press in. However, these do not rotate on the Moza as we're on the Simagic. You can bind both of these puppies to rotating left or right, clicking in, and then a 4-way D-pad. I'm going to give it to the Simagic, although these niblets feel great. Now, as for these rotary knobs, these encoders, if you shall, in the Moza Pit House software, you can change these to be either a 10-way switch rotating around a different button for each notch, or simply turning right is up, turning left is down. I didn't see a setting for that in Simagic. These are always to the right goes up, to the left goes down, unless I'm missing something, which I probably am. Somebody help me in the comment section below. But having said that, there's 4 dials here, 3 here, none of them press in. The feeling is substantially better on the Moza. There's virtually no side-to-side play or wiggle, nice distinct click at each step. As were the Simagic, tons of side-to-side play or wiggle. They sound really creaky and not satisfying to use. They sound very hollow, plasticky, clacky, and not really very comparable, to be honest. So the knobs are gonna go to the Moza. Build quality is actually very sturdy on both of these wheels. The KS wheel is quite a bit lighter, although that doesn't really correlate to a more premium feeling wheel or anything like that. But something to note there is you will get a little bit more force feedback feeling and a little bit more peak strength out of your wheelbase, being as this is notably lighter, although the size is identical, as you can see. Just tested my reflexes with my knee. They work.
You would think this would absolutely be common sense, but I obviously don't mean your wheelbase gets supercharged and puts out more force or anything like that, but rather you feel more force feedback because the wheel is lighter. So it's less mass for the motor of your direct drive wheelbase to have to...
The diameter in millimeters is identical, popping up on screen, or if it's not identical, it feels like it. Due to the lighter weight, you do feel a little bit more force feedback through the Moza.
Moza was founded in 2012, Simagic 2018. Having said that, being able to shop for new products, receiving customer support, or God forbid, having to go through a return is all substantially smoother from Moza. A Google search for Simagic warranty will show you the standard statistics. 1 year periodic time frame. That's actually bound by consumer law here in North America. I believe Europe gets a little something nicer, like 2 years. Coming on down here though, Reddit, a bit disappointed by Simagic's warranty, and you find story after tale, the same thing basically. But it's not my job to dig up the past or anything, but what I will do is share my experience with my Simagic equipment during the upcoming review. Having gotten all that stinky prerequisite stuff out of the way, let me show you where I would recommend purchasing the Simagic wheel that we're comparing today, depending on what region you live in. Now, if you're in the United States, North America, Sim Shop over here is right straight out of Texas, where everything is bigger. It's the only place to buy Simagic gear that I've seen that has any kind of a free shipping offer, and that's on $300 or more, no promo code needed. But something to note with this site is they are missing certain accessories and things in the ecosystem, but what they're not missing is the GT Neo, which is $289. You are just under the threshold to get free shipping, and the cheapest shipping option is $16. Now, if you're not in America, then you're gonna go to the Simagic shop. Which one? Good question. The review will cover it. But shop.simagic.com is the store. See, I've got some stuff sitting in my cart here because I was comparing prices with the other Simagic authorized websites, shipping and stuff. That chair must be so small if that guy can hold it in his hand like that. I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse into a nice little stick of glue or whatever. You get the point. Moza's been around longer. It is much easier to shop for gear, not just the wheel that we're looking at today, but the entire ecosystem. You can buy them on Amazon. I know I keep mentioning that, but that's huge because you have that third-party vendor with their return policy in place. So with these two delectable dime pieces over here, this one is way heavier. Wait, no, this one. It's reversed on the camera. They're both fantastic wheels, honestly, and the fact that you can use them on other manufacturers' ecosystems of wheelbases by using adapters, authorized adapters, not some kind of janky converter or anything like that. Picking a winner is extremely difficult. That's like picking a favorite child or something like that. This little bastard's been cutting a lot of class here recently. This young man has been in the honor roll for a while, but he got the neighbor girl pregnant, so he's a piece of work as well. Neither is perfect is what I'm saying, but if I had to pick one, it would be the Moza wheel, and that comes down to the grips, more comfortable. That's a huge thing. The paddle shifters are better on the Simagic, but it's something that you won't hear the clackiness because you're wearing a headset or blaring your speakers. You have an issue with this, you can return it nice and easy. It's lighter, so you are going to feel more force feedback from your wheelbase. The shift lights, although there's not as many dots, they're brighter and more vibrant and easier to see out of your bottom peripherals. The KS wheel, if I had to choose one, but they're both fantastic, and I'm glad that I have them both because I do use them both. Linked in the description below will be both of the wheels, both of the adapters, so you can use them on other personnel's wheelbases. And make sure you subscribe so you catch the upcoming Simagic review, as well as other sim racing content, including gear reviews, other silliness.